Will the Metropolitan Police update its definition of a domestic extremist? And who is this aimed at? Assembly Member Jones?
I'll have a go at both of them, but perhaps the Commissioner first.
Okay. First of all, I think as Jenny points out, there were recommendations in this 2012 report which was asking the Home Office and ACPO to create a new definition, and that was set against the context of deploying covert undercover officers, particularly around at that time the National Domestic Extremism Unit. A follow-up HMIC inspection published in June of 2013, HMIC found that the Met had fully considered the position of the public order and domestic extremism intelligence functions and made satisfactory changes. However, in 2013, the HMIC also said they were concerned that despite much work undertaken to consider a new definition, the oversight board from the Home Office and ACPO that was considering this had decided to keep the existing definition. So HMIC had suggested change, there had been a consideration, and it had been rejected. The Met reflected on this, and we have taken the lead, and in 2013 decided to introduce a clearer definition, we believe, to be used by the Domestic Extremism Unit, which will become the ACPO definition, we believe. So the newly revised definition is that domestic extremism relates to the activity of groups or individuals who commit or plan serious criminal activity motivated by a political or ideological viewpoint.
Ooh,
I thought you might be pleased with that one.
Worried about that. Could I have a copy of that? Because
yes.
The specific thing that HMIC said was about serious disruption and so on, but they also brought in the bit about it being serious crime.
That's what you just said.
Did you include that? Or
yes, that's the definition. I think what the HMIC might have said is that they were trying to include serious public disorder, and I think probably what this definition does is to include serious public disorder if it passes the test of serious criminal activity.
You see,
the test is serious criminal activity.
My problem is always that these definitions are so wide that they can include all sorts of people who are not criminals as such, but, for example, demonstrations. There was a demonstration where several hundred cyclists lay down in the road outside Transport for London. You know, I'm worried that in your definition they could actually be seen as domestic terrorists, which seems to me ludicrous.
Well, just try to reassure you, may not be reassured, but serious criminal activity generally means, if you looked at the definition, I'm trying to think now, the definition of serious arrestable offence, for example, is that generally talk about serious violence, serious threat of violence, theft, very serious theft, very serious criminal damage. People say, well, criminal damage, well, it could be arson. That would be very serious criminal damage. So I think the seriousness is a good test, and it doesn't mean that people who protest are covered by this. That is not the point. The point is, if they plan to commit serious criminal offences during their protest, the law provides them with no defence that they were protesting if they commit a serious crime. So it's trying to provide a reassurance that people who only protest are not covered by this definition.
Okay,
but it may be you need to see it in writing, which I suspect from your reaction you haven't.
Okay, thanks very much.